Pastor Elijah was 55 years old and very famous in Redemption Hill. Everyone in the town loved him because he helped people solve their problems. They believed he had special powers to see their troubles and guide them to happiness. But Pastor Elijah had a secret, a dark secret that no one could see. Behind his kind face, Pastor Elijah wasn't the holy man everyone thought he was. He made people give a lot of money to the church and tricked other pastors into joining his secret group. After church services, he and his friends had wild parties, drank alcohol, and did bad things. No one knew the truth because Pastor Elijah was good at hiding it. But there was one boy who could see him for who he really was. Emmanuel was a smart and curious 10-year-old boy. He lived with his mother, Amora, and they often went to Pastor Elijah's church. One day, Amora decided to take Emmanuel to see Pastor Elijah for a blessing. As soon as they entered the pastor's office, Emmanuel felt strange. The air felt heavy, and his heart raced. When he looked at Pastor Elijah, he froze. His eyes were glowing red, and there was a shiny horn sticking out of his head. "Oh, Emmanuel," Pastor Elijah said, smiling wide. "Come here, my boy. Let's pray together." Emmanuel backed away, holding his mother's hand tightly. "Mama, he's not a good man," he whispered, shaking. Amora frowned. "Emmanuel, stop it. That's rude. Pastor Elijah is here to help us." "But Mama," Emmanuel said loudly, "he has red eyes. And there's a horn on his head." Pastor Elijah laughed softly. "Children have such wild imaginations," he said, though his smile didn't reach his eyes. He stared at Emmanuel for a moment, and the boy felt a chill run down his back. At first, Amora thought Emmanuel was making things up. She scolded him for being disrespectful, but soon, she started noticing strange things herself. One day, Amora's best friend, Ngozi, went to visit Pastor Elijah. Ngozi told Amora earlier that she felt uncomfortable around the pastor, but she wanted to give him a chance. That evening, Ngozi didn't come home. Amora called her phone, but no one answered. Days passed, and Ngozi was still missing. Amora started to worry. She remembered Emmanuel's words and began to pay closer attention at church. She noticed that people who got close to Pastor Elijah seemed different, quiet and scared. She also saw how some women stopped coming to church altogether. One night, Amora decided to follow Pastor Elijah after the service. Amora put on a big scarf and followed Pastor Elijah and some of the other pastors. They walked to an old building outside town. Amora hid behind a bush and peeked through a broken window. Inside, she saw something shocking. Pastor Elijah was standing in front of a big, creepy statue with horns, just like the one Emmanuel described. The other pastors were bowing to it, chanting strange words. Then Pastor Elijah spoke loudly, "Tonight, we offer another sacrifice to gain more power." Amora covered her mouth to keep from screaming. She knew she had to do something, but she needed proof. Amora and Emmanuel decided to find proof to expose Pastor Elijah. One Sunday, while everyone was busy at church, Emmanuel sneaked into Pastor Elijah's private office. In a hidden drawer, Emmanuel found scary things, photos of missing people, bloody clothes, and a book filled with strange writing. He took some pictures with his mother's phone and ran back to her. "This is it, Mama," Emmanuel said, holding up the phone. "Now we can show everyone the truth." Amora and Emmanuel showed the evidence to the town leaders. At first, nobody believed them. "Pastor Elijah is a good man," they argued. But when Amora told them about the strange rituals and showed the photos, one of Pastor Elijah's closest friends broke down. He admitted everything, saying, "Pastor Elijah tricked us all." The police arrested Pastor Elijah, and his secrets were finally exposed. The town was shocked and sad, but they were also grateful to Amora and Emmanuel for their bravery. After Pastor Elijah was gone, the town began to heal. Emmanuel became a hero for speaking the truth, even when no one believed him. Amora hugged her son tightly and said, "You were right all along, Emmanuel. I'm so proud of you." From that day, the people of Redemption Hill promised to be more careful about who they trusted. Emmanuel learned that being brave and standing up for what's right could change the world.